Well, with China, of course, you're right that we have a very positive, I would say, expanding cooperation, both bilateral, UNESCO and China, as well as jointly working for African countries where China supports already many programs for teacher training in African countries. So we have established a fund in trust for teacher training. We will continue. I have the reassurances also of the Chinese government. In fact, Mr. Hao Ping, the Vice Minister of Education, is chairing the last General Conference. We were visited last year by the Chinese President, the first ever such visit, historic visit at UNESCO.
There's so many conflicts now around the world, so many people in need, so many people suffering, children and women especially. And when you see that engagement from China, that means that China is really concerned because of the plight and the problems that these people are suffering. So the level of human solidarity, that sense of brotherhood that China is showing is really exemplary. For us, for the United Nations, for the Department of Peacekeeping Operations, China's contribution is more than important. It's really extraordinary. And for our own credibility and our own legitimacy as an international organization, to have China's contribution, of course, is very, very, very important. Of all the members of the Security Council, China is number one. And if you put together all the other permanent members of the Security Council, added up together, they don't get up to what China is contributing.
If you imagine the situation a few years from now, 2050, we will be normally 9.2, 9.3 billion people on this planet. To feed 9.2 or 9.3 billion people on this planet, we need from now to increase every year our food production, because we think that by 2050 we will need to have increased it by 50 to 75%. To do that, we need to put in agriculture 4 million hectares every year of new land. For example, towards China, is to develop more and more agroforestry system, because there are systems which are using less pesticide, which are growing better food, and which are also systems by which you employ a lot of people.
I can only be satisfied with this very active engagement. I'm very happy because it gives substance to our cooperation. It goes into the heart of our mandate of promoting quality education and social inclusion, which is so important. And of course, the other part, which is protection of heritage, protection of biodiversity, and working with the countries that are very much in need. I'm talking, of course, about African countries, but we are expanding our cooperation also in some countries like the small island development states, or Nepal, and some others. So it's a very fruitful cooperation, and I would like to thank China for this great support for UNESCO.
China's contribution and sacrifice during the Second World War is very much recognized and appreciated for all such sufferings and sympathized by the world people. The whole world is now commemorating the 70th anniversary of ending of the Second World War. Very tragic, most tragic war in the history of human being. And at the same time, the founding of United Nations is important to look to the past, what kind of lessons we have been learning and how we can move ahead to a brighter future based on the lessons learned. That is the main purpose I'm going to China at the invitation of President Xi Jinping.